In the 15 years since it opened, the Towle Theater has developed a reputation for presenting a unique theater-going experience. Distancing itself from the spectacle and tradition of theater, Jeff Casey and company have made an effort to make Towle's presentations both challenging and approachable.
It's intriguing, compelling storytelling. In our instance, it's so intimate, you do feel connected with the actors. You can see every facial nuance. When an actor wrinkles their forehead, it's immediate to you, the emotion they're trying to evoke, which is a huge benefit of being in a tiny space like ours. I think in many regards, we are a community theater. Probably the biggest distinction that we don't follow for community theater is we pay all of our actors. So as a result, we're able to audition both here locally and use local talent and use Chicago-based talent. That also had an unintended impact on our programming and what pieces we select to produce. So back in the day, we did a lot of big cast shows, which we could do when we weren't paying people. But now that we are paying people, we've scaled it way down. We concentrate on more intimate storytelling process. We do almost exclusively premiere work rather than known work. So I would say artistically, that's been the biggest change over the 15 years. And I think just continuing to get the word out. You know, our audience base at first was very small. Now we have subscribers from 45 miles away who come to all 4 shows. That's another big change. We're playing to a much wider audience base. I think a really savvy audience. A lot of our subscribers are also subscribers at Steppenwolf and Chicago Shakespeare Theater in Chicago. Luckily, we have built an audience base that's super loyal, and even if they're not familiar with the title or the work that we're doing, they've come to expect a level of quality and professionalism at the Towle that they come back for, even if they've never heard of the title. We have people every year trying to buy season tickets before we've even announced what the shows are.
Always looking for new ways to keep their audience engaged, the Towle hosted an open technical rehearsal and table reading. The events allowed the general public to observe parts of the pre-production process, usually reserved for cast and crew only.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
First time everybody's together after the initial process is for the table read. So the cast members are meeting each other for the first time. If the playwright's involved, they're meeting the people who are going to represent their work. The producer is bringing everybody together, the director, the lighting designer sits in to start getting ideas about the tone of a scene and what shifts might help support the storytelling. The costume and set designer are there to start getting ideas. The prop master or mistress is there to help start compiling the list of props. So it's a really important step to the process that almost no one outside of the theater world gets to experience.
That's insane!
The world is insane, Ned. We're simply adapting to our environment.
Fergie pulls Ned out the door. Afterward, we'll have an informal Q&A with the writer, with the cast, and the audience. Interaction that most audience members don't have access to. A little glimpse into what we do artistically.
What are you gonna do? March in there and demand?
We're hosting an open rehearsal for what we call in the industry Q to Q. And that's a really important process in the technical aspect of theater. Whenever there's a lighting change or sound introduced to the process, that's called a cue.
Bobby wants her to have Tom Cruise hair. She's gonna have Tom Cruise hair.
Sometimes a cue is a blackout after a scene or lights up on a new scene. Sometimes it's more subtle. Maybe sometimes it's a color change, a hue change, just to enhance the mood of the scene. So it's really all about marrying the lighting story that Adrian has developed, the sound story that Kevin has developed, with all of the storytelling work that the cast has been doing over the past several weeks, and it all culminating tonight. So there's lots of starting and stopping. There might be moments of total confusion. Tonight's the night that we fix all that. That's a private, vulnerable point in the process. It'll be a little unnerving for us as artists. I've never done an open Q to Q before. The audience will get to see me at work in a way they've never seen me at work, interacting with actors, which they never really get to see me do, interacting with Adrian, our tech. I think it also helps people have a greater appreciation for the overall product if they get to see that part and then 10 days later come back and see the show. First of all, a lot has changed and grown in those 10 days, artistically, storytelling, actors, etc. But I think it would be cool for them to see that we went from, a bare stage setting these levels to it just flowing seamlessly. Intimate storytelling is much different than being in a big, huge auditorium. I do think that's what people connect with here at the Towle. And it's changed our artistic approach, I think, to what we do and how we do it. People really like, as an actor, that connection, being able to be so close to the audience. It's a little daunting and intimidating at first because you can see their reactions, you can feel their energy, you can read their body language, but it's also a really cool environment to create theater in. An actor's creating something that will only exist that time. The very next night, they'll say the same line, but it might be executed differently, or because of the audience reaction, it might be nuanced differently, which is one of the reasons artistically why I wanted to do theater. Part of the challenge as live performance actors is once you step on stage, you are solely responsible for how successful or unsuccessful you are. It's about preparedness, it's about trust, it's about working hard, collaborating with people on stage. There's an energy about live performance. And I include music with that, whether it's symphonic music with the Northwest Indiana Symphony Orchestra or a rock concert. There's something about laughing out loud with 120 strangers because a joke landed perfectly in a script. Sharing a communal experience with people and feeling that energy with them.